Hello and welcome to The Panelists. I'm your host, Molly, and joining me are four of the nation's preeminent experts in nonsense. On my shave side, we have Corey and Jacob. What is your team name?
We are Team Rainbow Bright.
And the Princesses of Power.
And on my hair side, we have Team Kathleen and Ian. What is your team name?
Team Best Friends Forever.
But not with each other.
No, that would be rude. To Beach, specifically.
Yeah, so if you're looking to be my best friend, I welcome all challengers.
So the good news is Kathleen is looking for a best friend, and in further good news, the Illuminati was hiring, and you have made it to the final round of interviews. The rumors are true, and the Illuminati has been cryogenically freezing celebrities and luminaries for centuries. Thank you for asking. You're interviewing for a position on the thought-out client side in what they call the readjustment division. In this position, you escort recently unfrozen clients to a destination and answer their questions. Management says your role in this position is to, quote, break it to them easy. How you choose to do this is up to you, but failure to do this will cost you the job, and the Illuminati will wipe your memory and scrub any suggestion of you from the fossil record. But, try your best. This week they're opening up the Walt Vault. So who do you take, and where do you take them? Walt Whitman, or Walt Disney's frozen head? Team Rainbow Bright.
They don't open up the Disney Vault that often.
I think you are mistaking, this is just a vault of waltz. Like, Westworld, but waltz, it's like West Walt. That's what we're working with. Walt World. I think that's trademarked.
I'm going to go with Walt Disney's head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, because I don't know much about Walt Whitman, and Walt Disney getting woken up by a Jew seems funny.
Where would you take Walt Disney's recently unfrozen head?
What if there existed a themed ride, say, that would introduce someone slowly to concepts of the future?
Like a Hall of Presidents.
Like a Hall of Presidents.
Right, and we could call it the Hall of Residents, because now you are taking residence in... No? No? Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I wasn't
Thinking of the World of Tomorrow.
Oh, I mean, that's way better. Yeah, that's way better. That's good job. Yes, and we can call it the World of Tomorrow today.
So, Ian, how much do you know about poetry?
Let me break it to you, Kathleen. I was going to find out how we could make this about Walter White, because that's a Walt I can relate to.
Okay, but I'm sort of familiar with the Platonic ideal of Walt Whitman.
Well, please, lay it on me and let me just go nuts.
He's a dead American man who wrote some poetry. Mm-hmm. He had a mustache. Mm-hmm. He was white.
Mm-hmm. So far, very relatable.
And a beard. I'm getting the beard sign from Molly the host. And also he wrote about roads less traveled, question mark?
That's Robert Frost.
He wrote about dew on a beautiful meadow, question mark?
I think he
Still
wrote about
Robert Frost.
He was the beautiful walking in the woods.
Okay, time out. Team Best Friends Forever. Do you know a single fact about Walt Whitman?
He's dead and white.
I don't think that's enough to chaperone him through the present. Could I offer you a different Walt?
Any Walt.
Okay. How about a Walter Cronkite?
That truly is the way it is.
All right, well, I don't know anything about Walter Cronkite except that he was in Bloom County Comics, so now you have to refresh my memory. Tell me about Walter Cronkite.
Walter Cronkite is the most trusted man in news. He did and that's the way it is. He was the one who you would look to. He was America's dad.
But like a good dad or a bad dad that you're afraid of?
Oh no, the very, very good dad.
Oh.
When he was on the news, from the black and white times, through the moon landing, all the way up through the 80s, I believe, because I didn't actually watch American television all that much, he was the one who would guide us as a people through the sad parts of history and celebrate with us through our achievements. This is a man who we need to bring back, and we not only wouldn't have to gently break the news to him. No, he is a news seeker.
No. You're telling me he presided over an age of decency and decorum in cable news, in news gathering. We can't let this man near a television or he will die again and we will get in trouble with the Illuminati. We need to take him to wherever we would take Walt Whitman, which is presumably someplace far away from TV where soothing things happen and there's like a pond on Golden Pond. Is that a Walt Whitman thing?
Wait. If we're looking for a place that's safe from reality, is full of standing bodies of water.
Literally anything soothing.
Yeah, but the real world will never find him. We take him to Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Why didn't we think of that?
I thought we did. I mean, we're just going to be hanging out then with Walter Cronkite and Walt Disney's head. I assume this is a Futurama type situation where the head is conscious and cognizant while they regrow the rest of his strangely youthful
Has
body.
a holding vessel so we don't have to touch it.
If I can be honest, I pictured y'all pushing him around in a stroller. But, you know, in a jar, similarly.
Other people in the park like, oh, look at the, oh.
But it is a conscious head in a jar, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in a stroller.
I do want to point out, eventually, you will have to break the news to the newsman.
Well, before we do that, can we talk about what we're going to put our little head in?
I didn't.
I sense that we can't stop you.
Is it all of Walter Cronkite, or we just have his head in a baby carriage?
No, I think you get the full Cronkite.
Oh, come on. I was looking forward to putting Walter Cronkite's head inside a CRT TV so no one could tell the difference.
That would be most of his upper torso, though, wouldn't it?
I mean, if we put him inside a CRTV, it'll make it way easier for us to blind him from literally every facet of modern media, right? Because we can't let him look at the internet. He'd be disappointed. We can't let him look at TV because he'd be horrified. We need to take him to a bunker somewhere and let him readjust to the dark.
We can take him to the Hall of Presidents and then take him out after
No, because Donald Trump's in the Hall of
after
Presidents.
the first half. You know, nothing else happened after
And then
change.
put the TV over his head and then black box him out of the Hall of Presidents.
Then we'll take him to Tomorrowland and say, hey, remember what you had in Tomorrowland? That's what's here now.
Yeah, no more Captain EO ride.
I loved Captain EO.
You're my best friend.
Yeah.
Why not turn it around and like have a baby Bjorn thing so that we can always look down? Wow, we don't need to go to Disneyland now, Kathleen. We have comfort for ourselves wherever we go.
Now we have an elderly, recently revived man nestled into our bosoms, telling us things like, "You're doing a good job, best friends forever, Ian and Kathleen. I'm proud of you. This world seems very decorum-filled, and nothing has ever gone wrong, and nothing is actually a raging dumpster fire in 2019, and I'm holding you personally responsible." I need someone to give me these kind of affirmations.
Time for a nap, both for you and for me.
Follow up, how do we tell Walt Disney that everyone he's known is dead?
I think he probably expected that when he went in, knowing that he was going to outlive or at least out-exist everyone. But I think we've got the best entry point in the world, in the Disney world, by taking, I would imagine, the very first one. That's the California one, correct?
The adventure.
Yeah.
It is now, I would say, about 30% Star Wars land.
Yes.
Oh, and Star
Very
Wars
Marvel.
post-dates him by 10 years. So you would have to explain why his vision is now mostly an IP he's never heard of.
I would play for him the Jim Henson versus Stan Lee epic rap battles of history, where Walt Disney comes in at the end and raps about everything that he owns as a way to very quickly explain what has happened.
And you don't think that he would just kind of melt into a jelly at the bottom of his jar?
As soon as it came out of my mouth, my brain was like, this is a terrible idea, but my mouth would not stop.
That's like going, oh, have you heard of Alexander Hamilton? And then just playing.
and then playing all of Hamilton. Yeah. No, that is a very, very good point.
How do you explain to Walt Disney that he's basically the czar of all entertainment on Earth now?
Does he own all of media now?
I would imagine that he must, because it's part of the Illuminati. This is just kind of an inherently built-in thing, correct?
Yes.
Yes, look at his empire of whimsy and magic.
The better question is, how do we trick him into signing it all away to us?
Oh, we lie about how current laws and copyright works.
Kathleen, pack up our Cronkhead and go with me on this journey here. Now, we weren't the ones to freeze Mr. Cronkite.
No, we just started.
That was the Illuminati who did that. And they, much as they do with all of their things, do things for a reason. Which means that I think our job isn't just to introduce Walter Cronkite to the modern world. At this point, I think it's time for the world to be introduced to Walter Cronkite. What if the reason that he's frozen is to fix the news media, and our job is to just get him in front of a camera for a YouTube masterclass?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we're already, like, semi-professional video production people.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. We could totally do that. We have a studio, slaps roof of Panalysts set, only doesn't because it's actually kind of flimsy. You can't tell that from the thing. But you could fit so many Walter Cronkites in here.
Yes.
Walter Cronkite.
Look at all these shelves. There's a Cronkite in every shelf.
News used to be respected, and so did mustaches and beards.
There he is.
welcome to my TED Talk.
Oh man, I don't think Walter Cronkite is gonna like really revitalize news media and how we consume information with a TED Talk. Nobody cares about those. Those are just things that you put on your resume. But what if we got him a Twitch channel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then what if he dyed his hair funny colors and then like did kick flips off his Zoom board?
He could be like, what's up, youth of today? I'm Walter Cronkite, and I'm here to say, let's have some more common decency in news media.
Tell me more about the concerns of your generation and how the elderly are fucking you over.
Oh, well, yeah, I know you're a baby boomer, but I got some real problems with the distribution of wealth in this country and, like upward mobility.
And then he vapes in their face and skates away.
That's the way it is.
And there you have
Dabs.
it, people.
Finally, news media will be able to respect.
Can't get over the fact that my childhood hero is fucking tabbing.
Wait, he's your childhood hero?
Look, my childhood hero was actually Jim Dial from the Murphy Brown television program, but his hero was Walter Cronkite, and therefore...
He's your grand hero.
Yes.
Transitive property of heroes.
Yeah.
The hero of my hero is my hero.
Hero.
Point of order, all of Ian's heroes are newscasters.
It's true. There's Walter Cronkite, Jim Dial, the fictional one, but then we get into Knowlton Nash, who presided over the National. I didn't know for a very long time that CBC's The National wasn't named after Knowlton Nash. And also Bill Matheson, the local weatherman, who was Meteorologist of the Year for many years. He was a very good weatherman.
That's a very high accolade. Yeah. Wow, I could see why that person would be your hero. Let's unthaw him next. Is he dead?
He is very dead, and I was very sad, but if we can have Bill Matheson back, oh boy.
We can make a dream team of old dead white guys to finally tell us what to think.
But then I'm going to have to get rid of my opening spiel to my podcast because I ripped it off from him whole cloth because he was dead.
Well, he's not going to mind. You can be like, well, yeah, but you're dead. Or you were dead. You're not dead anymore, so don't get so picky about it.
You'd have to see how resurrectionist law played out.
Well, Walt Disney's been revived, so I guess copyright's never going anywhere forever now.
Walt Disney is going to buy young people's blood to inject it into himself and make himself younger.
Oh.
Well, I thought the Illuminati was like growing him a new body, because we only have the head,
Oh.
right? Like, I mean, we've got it. Oh, no.
But the stroller's so cute.
No, the stroller's adorable, but he's going to, like, somehow get into the Hall of Presidents and like slap the head off of Abraham Lincoln and get robot Abraham Lincoln's body and start terrorizing people. I don't like this.
We're going to have to stop him somehow.
Illuminati requisitions, we could probably get lightsabers. He probably will hate Star Wars.
He would probably hate Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
Until he sees how much money it's made him and then be like, I like Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Star Wars is good.
Star Wars is cool by me.
Oh, man. Ewoks.
Oh man, my favorite.
They totally ate all those guys. I like it.
So I think what we have concluded is that we would take most time travelers to Disneyland, but we would not take them to the Hall of Presidents because we wouldn't wish that upon anybody at this point.
Yeah.
No. But, good news. You have synesthesia, but it sucks just a little bit. Instead of something cool like seeing shapes and colors when you hear music or something like that, you have one of two options. Either the state of arousal sounds like or the need to pee tastes like black pepper. Team best friends forever.
This is a tough one, for me at least.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I like being aroused, but I also like pepper.
But arousal just is a constant like whee in your ears.
Mm-hmm. And the nice thing about that is that I can take care of arousal quickly.
Well, here's my thought. I think that we should go with arousal. I'll tell you why. I am a middle-aged woman who has a child. My sex drive is cratered out. I am nothing but a husk of dehydration and coffee and exhaustion. I never experienced that anyhow. This is literally no drawback. It's fine. I am basically a sexless dead thing.
But it means when it does happen, you won't be able to ignore it.
Yes.
And that's great.
It'll be like a kettle.
Do you hear that?
What's that far-off noise I haven't heard
My
for
God,
years?
it's my sex drive.
My God, it's coming back. The only problem is apparently women get real horny when they reach menopause. So like in like a couple like dozen years, I'm just going to be like hearing a train toot all the time.
It's like, yeah, it'll be like a really horny version of a tinnitus.
Oh yeah. It'll just be like, oh, time to bone down again. Toot toot. Everybody on the vibrator train.
So we're going to save a lot on seasoning, provided we time our water intake out in time for dinner.
And hopefully it is like a freshly cracked black pepper,
That's what I'm
depending on the
hoping.
dish.
So it's fresh cracked pepper, but if you can't find a bathroom in time, then it's stale, like department store in a baggie back of your fridge already like cracked black pepper in the back of your pantry.
But I assume it's like any other sensation that you're exposed to for a long period of time. You acclimatize to it, like you can't taste your own saliva.
I can't. But other people can taste my saliva.
What I worry about, Kathleen, is that we'd get into a situation where it's as a trained psychologist, hear a whistle when we get aroused. That means that
If
eventually,
we hear a whistle, we will become aroused.
yeah, and I don't want that to happen when the garbage truck pulls up behind my place.
We could never go on a train again.
No.
Especially not one of those children's trains where they have the toot toot kind of noise, because that's a very bad situation to be in. You do not want to be popping a woody while on a train full of children.
Unless it's the case where it goes away when the sound stops. In which case, just a boop, boop.
So you just wear very flexible pants if you're going to be on a children's train.
I mean, I try to not be on children's trains at all.
Oh, then you're probably fine. Like I said, this probably doesn't affect us. You're going to stay away from trains full of children, and I'm going to stay away from touching any other humans, as is my wont. We're okay. And if we hear a strange whistling noise, we'll know it's a unfamiliar sensation.
Ooh, unless you get a dog whistle and we actually get like a new strange kind of
Yeah,
feeling.
because there's the standard arousal, but what if you just get like exciting nips?
Yeah, does the tone of the whistle affect the state of arousal?
I'm very curious about the tone, the intensity, and the
Right.
timbre.
Yes,
What if I just hear like a low whistle and I want to read some real dirty fanfic?
yeah, if you hear like one of the shipping boats out in the bay.
Then it's sounding time.
I'm feeling less at risk with our choice, but more at risk because of their choice.
I would agree with that. I am going to enjoy just being like, will you excuse me? I taste the peps, and then going to pee. And coming up with all sorts of new phrases and things like that, and be like, it's my condition. It's Peppa time. Like, yeah, yep.
This is my TED Talk, and this is how I deal with pepper bladder.
I got the Peppa Peas.
Peppa Peas. Yes, yes, yes. Yep.
No, and I imagine on like a long road trip, like, could you pull over? Next stop's in a half hour. What do you got? I think I got about. I could wait half hour.
I wait out now. What are they doing? Don't ask. Please don't ask. Well, let me tell you something. I have a condition that. Oh God.
Have you
why
heard of
did
the
you do
Peppa
that?
Piss? It's
Yes,
me.
the Peppa Piss. I did that. If you look in the dictionary, haha.
Read my book.
Yeah.
I think that goes both ways, though. I think if I was on a long road trip with Ian and he's like, Kathleen, I hear a train whistle, I'll be like, I don't care where we are, I'm pulling over right now.
Do you hear that, or is it just me?
Pulling over anyhow! Just in the middle of the freeway, cutting people off.
I have to go number 3 right now.
I finally learned what that was. Somebody made a joke about a number 3, and I was like, is that when you do a 1 and a 2 at the same time?
Oh, no.
Because 1 plus 2 is 3, and then it was explained to me, and I was like, why am I in a hotel room with you?
It's one of the 2 safe shower activities.
So then what's a fart? Is a fart 0?
Doing a number 0.
Doing a number 0 in this chair. Here we go.
This chair can fit so many number zeros.
I don't like to think about all the number 0s in those couches out there.
Yeah, no.
I really don't.
No.
They're richly impregnated with so many O's.
Which is what you want to do when you hear whistles.
Wow, it takes that Marilyn Monroe quote right to the end. You know how to whistle, right?
Oh, you just put your lips together and think about trains.
Oh, the forlorn, horny sounds of the nose flute. The forlorny sound.
Thanks for coming out tonight. We're the forlorn foghorn horny sound.
Horns.
Try the veal.
And here's the horny section.
Remember, the 9 o'clock show is different from the 7 o'clock show.
The big problem for me is Pepper P just now sounds like someone who's very, very, not affectionate, sorry, very familiar with Pepper Pig.
Or is in a Salt and Peppa knockoff band.
Just the Peppa parts.
Just Peppa, yeah.
Just Peppa. It's all the
Men.
songs.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will be
That's it.
Peppa and Peppa.
Peppa and Peppa. Yeah, it's just the Peppa parts.
That's great, because I'm in a band called Salt and Salt. It's all salt all the time.
Is it you and Kathleen?
Yep.
Finally, someone wants to be in a project with me.
We have the same haircut. That's the only thing you need to be in a band, is matching haircuts and a name.
Perfect. Salt and salt.
Salt and Salt.
As long as it's anything but Peruvian whistles, we'll be fine.
Why Peruvian whistles?
I mean, they're the first pan flutes I could think of, but they're certainly going to be making a lot of tones. And
Oh,
you'll be
you
feeling
could
some-
not listen to Zamfir. That would just be a no-go zone.
The way I hear it, that's already the case.
Well, I think what we have learned is this has been the Panelists. I would like to thank Corey, Jacob, Ian, and Kathleen for talking. I would like to thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Goodbye. And that's the way it is.
When I lived in a town called Chetwynd, they had a movie theater. They always did the same thing, which is they played some record of Zamfir Plays the Hits before the movie would start. And I think the movie theater's been torn down on account of being terrible, but if it was still standing, you couldn't go there unless you were wearing very loose pants, Ian. It would be too dangerous.
Again, I try not to go into northern BC for any reason, but I'll remember the pants as well.
That story took such a scenic route and then just stopped in an alley. If you go to that theory, you have to get her loose pants. You know, because you're a train whistle boner.